but that's the board. Obviously most boards are breakable, but this board is very hard to break. So there are many different ways to play TRAPTRIX. You can mix it in with Labyrinth, Dogmatica, Amazement, Dynamorphia, or whatever you really want. You could even mix it in with Rikka or Therions. But I think one of the best ways to play it right now is like this. Mixing it in with plant stuff and Therions. It does have a downside that it runs like 3 bricks, but it does put up a pretty insane board. You do not want to draw your Mardell, your Regulus, or your Therion field spell. Another thing is that you need to open the right ratios. You don't want to draw into your bricks, you need to draw into a TRAPTRIX, and you need to draw a trap. Also, your extra deck is pretty tight. Mardell, she's your hard break. You really do not want to draw this because you could do absolutely nothing with it. You're going to want to special summon her off of Jasmine to add your Berea to hand. It will let you target a plant monster in your grave and equip that card to itself, and then you can send that card to the grave to add your field spell to your hand, which will let you get to your Regulus. And the Regulus will let you target the Berea in grave to special summon himself onto the field. He's a non-destructive Omni Negate. I run 2 Parallel Exceed. He's a pretty solid extender, but he's kind of bricky if you don't open a TRAPTRIX. This deck does have a lot of extenders, so this is just something extra to help you with your combo, or to just make an extra Rafflesia to help protect yourself from Nibiru. Cashier Fenrir, he's not really important. I run 11 TRAPTRIX monsters, excluding Hotel. You really need to open a TRAPTRIX monster, but you really do not want to open too many, for the most part. This is kind of a combo deck now, so you can combo off with some of these, but for the most part you don't want to see more than 2 in your opening hand. TRAPTRIX Dianea. I only run 2, I'd like to run more, but there's just no space. She does do a lot. On normal summon, she lets you target a TRAPTRIX monster in your grave to special summon it, so that's great for comboing and for follow-up. And when she special summons, she lets you set a trap hole card from your grave, but it gets banished during the end phase of your next turn if it's still on the field. But if you reset it with Kalaria, where you bounce it back to your hand with Mantis, you won't lose it by that effect. TRAPTRIX Marmello, she's one of the best main deck TRAPTRIX monsters. On normal summon, she lets you add a whole trap card from your deck to your hand, and on special summon, she lets you target a spell or trap on your opponent's field and destroy it, and it's not once per turn. She's really good to trigger Sarah also, if you don't have any other way to trigger her. 1 Mantis. On normal summon, she lets you add a TRAPTRIX monster from your deck to your hand, and while on field, she has a quick effect to target one of your set spell or trap cards and return them to the hand, and then you can set another one from your hand. A lot of people really like this card, so most of the time you're going to be using her to grab a Dianea for follow-up, or a Vesiculo, or an Arachnocampa to combo. But in my opinion, that's just not good enough, because Arachnocampa locks you into plant or insects from the extra deck, so you really don't want to use her to combo. And Vesiculo special summon costs a trap, so she is really important, but we do have better options now. 1 Vesiculo. You can special summon her by sending 1 set trap from the field to the grave, and if she's in the grave, she could banish herself to set a trap hole from the grave onto your field. So she's really good for extension, or if you get disrupted, or if you just want to trigger Sarah. Having your whole trap cards in the grave are not that big of a deal, because it's really easy to recycle them back. So sometimes the cost for specialing her out really is negligible, and she doesn't lock you into anything, unlike Arachnocampa. In 1 Arachnocampa, I've seen quite a few people run more. It would be nice to run more. Maybe if you're running a more pure variant, you'd want to run more. But locking you into plant and insect monsters from the extra deck does really suck. So during the main phase, if you control a TRAPTRIX monster, you can special her out. But she does lock you into only special summoning plant and insect monsters from the extra deck. So as an extender, she's okay. You can still special summon your Regulus, since he special summons from the hand and not extra deck. But you won't be able to go into a Baguska or an Axis Kotaka or a Grapalisa or any other extra deck monsters you want to go to that are not plant or insects. And for protection, while she's on the field, as a continuous effect, the first time each of your set spell and traps would be destroyed, they are not destroyed. So that effect is really good, but for this variant, you're more of a combo deck, so you'll probably only have like 2 back row, and you also have Regulus to protect you. Plus, she's searchable, so she's fine at 1. Now, TRAPTRIX Purica. She's definitely a must 3 of. This card is actually insane. When she's normal summon, she lets you search out your field spell, which will give you a double summon. So she's insane for extension. And if she's special summon, she lets you target and banish a card on your opponent's field, but they get to special summon any of their banished monsters during the next standby phase, which could be a problem. But if you have Pinguicula, if a card leaves the field by your card effect, you could attach it to her, so that might mitigate it. if they have anything scary in their banished pile. So she's really strong for just opening up for more extension and removal. Opening her with Remelo is probably one of your best opening hands. Now TRAPTRIX Nepenthes, you don't need to run this card. Most people don't. Most people actually hate this card, but I kind of like her. You could use her as a combo piece to special summon more of your TRAPTRIX monsters. So if she's on the field, and if you activate one of your whole trap cards, she lets you special summon a TRAPTRIX monster from the deck. So you can use Holtea to trigger her. So if you open up Shade Brigandine and Holtea, or Remelo to add Holtea, you can special summon her off Sarah, activate Holtea, and she'll get to special out another monster, which is pretty okay. So you could run her if you want. It's up to you. I like her. She's okay. I don't run her in this variant because there just isn't enough space, but I think she's really good. So she has an on-field effect to tribute herself to set one hole from grave and one from the deck, which is pretty solid to just get more back row if you don't need the body. So she's pretty good if you find a way to get her out off of Sarah or Jasmine and you don't need the extra body, and you just get 2 back row, and you just get 2 holes, which is pretty solid in my opinion, but I just can't fit her in this variant. Most people don't like her, but I do. And I also just want to mention TRAPTRIX. I also don't run her. She's probably the worst TRAPTRIX monster. She's probably only playable in a pure variant. She lets you activate holes from the hand. She lets you activate trap holes from the hand. And while she's on the field, she makes it so the activation and the effects of your trap hole cards can't be negated. Rikka Princess. This card synergizes really well with this deck, since you do end on a Rikka monster. So she's an extender and a monster negate on your end field. So if you want, you can run more of her and just take out Parallel Exceed. During your main phase, you can special summon her from your hand for free. But while she's on the field, you'll only be able to special summon plant monsters. And when your opponent activates a monster effect, while you control a Rikka monster, you can quick effect, tribute a plant monster, and shuffle this card from your hand or your graveyard into the deck. Now, Pot of Prosperity. This card is very good to search for a board breaker or a combo piece, but the problem is that your extra deck is really tight. So if you want to dig through 6 of your cards, you're gonna have to really plan out how you're gonna get to your inboard with the cards you got rid of, with the hand that you have, and you're probably gonna have to sacrifice cards you're gonna need for your end game. So this card's kind of risky. If you want more draws, you can run this card. You could also send a TRAPTRIX monster to the grade, and then special summon it with Diana. It does work really well with TRAPTRIX. It does work better in a pure variant, but even in this deck, it is pretty solid. If you do include it in this deck, you might want to go to the Parallel Exceed and just run more Rikka Princess. One Therion Disc Coliseum. For the most part, you really do not want to open this card. When this card is activated, you can add a Therion monster from your deck to your hand. And if a monster is destroyed by battle, either yours or your opponent's, you can target a Therion monster in your grave and add it to your hand. So if your Therion monster hits the grave, when any monster gets destroyed by battle, you could add your Lily Brea to your hand, and then target the Regulus to special summon the Lily. And when Lily's equipped with the Regulus, she gets his effect to Omni negate anything. So that's pretty good for follow-up if anything ends up happening. So in your combo, you're going to be searching the Brea to search this, to search your Regulus. And opening this does suck because you're going to have to use this to search your Regulus, but you still need to get to the Lily to special summon the Regulus. So opening this is useless because no matter what, you need to get to the Lily. Trap Guardian, I would not run more than one. So you'll be searching this off your Boudica. This will allow you double summon a TRAPTRIX monster. It'll protect your plant and insect monsters from battle, and you can banish a monster you control to special summon a TRAPTRIX monster from your hand or grave. So the card's pretty solid to get monsters in the field, and to trigger your TRAPTRIX special summon effect. And for trap hole cards, 2 Holtea, you could run 2 or 3. I kinda do want to run 3, but I think 2 is fine. So you can discard a normal trap to activate it this turn. She special summons herself as a normal level 4 monster. So you'll be using her for your combo, to trigger Sarah, or even your Nepenthes. And she also has a graveyard effect that lets you banish her to special summon a TRAPTRIX monster from the grave. So you can special summon a Boudica or Memelo for disruption. Or if you use Sarah in your combo, you could use it to special summon her, but you can only use one of these effects once per turn. This card's really good. And for trap hole cards, you could really run whatever you want for whatever meta you're in. But I like to run one Floodgate, and I'm testing out this card, Terrifying Trap Hole Nightmare, since it's new. I think it is okay. It is versatile, since as long as your opponent special summoned a monster this turn, you could use it at any time within that turn, but it only works on monsters with 200 or more attack. It's hard to use it to interrupt your opponent's combos, since most of your opponent's combo pieces are going to be less than 2000 attack. But if you already have a normal trap in your graveyard, you could banish one monster from your opponent's graveyard. So you could banish that monster you destroyed, or anything else. Gravedigger's Trap Hole is probably one of the best trap holes. It lets you negate the effects of monsters that are activated in the hand or grave, which so many decks do, and then it inflicts 2k damage to your opponent. But I only run 2, since I think that's enough. I've seen a lot of people run 3, but I think 2 is enough. Floodgate Trap Hole, I think 1 is fine. When your opponent summons a monster, it gets flipped face down, and they won't be able to flip it back up. It's a little worse against fusion or like even neutral decks, but it's great that it gets rid of the monster, but it keeps from hitting the grave in case I have any grave effects. And if the monster is too scary, like has any crazy effects when it gets flipped face up, or just has too much defense, you can use Purika to get rid of it, or whatever's available. This card, along with a few of the other trap hole cards, can hit multiple monsters, like if they pendulum summon, or like Numeron for example. Also with this card, it doesn't matter where your opponent summoned the monster from, or if it was normal or special summoned, or tribute summoned, it doesn't matter, unlike some of the other trap hole cards. TRAPTRIX Trap Hole Nightmare is also worth considering. Sometimes I run it, sometimes I don't. It is nice to have a searchable negate like this, in the form of a trap, so you might want to include this. It is pretty decent. Time Space Trap Hole is an okay consideration as well. It can cover multiple monsters, but it only works on monster special summon from the hand or extra deck. Bottomless Trap Hole is okay. I personally don't like it. This one is actually kind of popular though. This card's cute. It banishes face down, and it can hit multiple monsters, but it only works on monsters special summon from the main deck or the graveyard. This card, along with Terrifying Trap Hole Nightmare, also has the restriction of only working on monsters with 2k or more attack, so that sucks. But it's just way less versatile than that card, so that sucks. This card's kind of bad, and this card's cute. It has some pretty cool interactions. If you open this in Atrax, you can normal summon Atrax, activate this from the hand, and destroy 2 monsters your opponent controls, and it can't be negated because of Atrax effect. So if you're going second, that's cute. And giving this effect to Rafflesia is pretty cool, but it only works if you have no trap cards in your graveyard, which is really bad. Overall, it's cute, but it's just really bad for the most part. And the other trap hole cards are probably not even worth mentioning. For your non-trap hole normal trap cards, you can run pretty much anything you want for whatever meta you're in. But for now, this is what I'm running. 2 Dynamiscus for removal. This card's okay. It does suck that you need to discard a card to use it, but if you use it to pay the cost of a trap effect or something, like for Hotea, you'll be able to special summon it in the same chain that you activated it, so you can use it for an extra material for your Epaloosa or something. Evenly Matched is pretty good to main deck. TRAPTRIX in general, probably main deck this the best, since you can use this as cost for Hotea or whatever. One Night Dragon's Prison. This card's okay. It helps you out some stuff. 3 Infinite Impermanence. It's like your only hand trap. If you want, you could change the ratios, or take out the friend mirror or something, and add more hand traps instead. I wouldn't take out too many traps for hand traps, because you do need to open some traps to combo off with, or to just use with Sarah. 2 Tears of the Overroot, and 3 Shade Brigandine. This card is still good with the deck. Sometimes I question why I'm running 3 of this and only 2 Hotea, but it's still just nice to use this for free, and not have to pay the cost with Hotea. And again, you can switch up the traps to whatever you want, but you're still going to need a good ratio of trap cards. So for the extra deck, as I mentioned before, it's really tight. In my opinion, there's not much you could take out or even swap. It'd be nice to run some of the other rank 4s, or even some of the other link monsters, like the Nightmares, but you need a lot of these cards. So I run 2 TRAPTRIX Sarah. I always run 2. 3 is nice, but there's just so many other good cards. And for the most part, you really only need 2. You could absolutely not run 1 though. So she's the main core of your deck. Literally everything revolves around this card. She generates you advantage for follow-up. She helps you combo, even disruption, in a way. So when a trap card is activated, you can special summon a TRAPTRIX monster from the deck, but it has to have a different name than a TRAPTRIX you currently control. And when a TRAPTRIX monster effect is activated, she lets you set a trap hole from the deck, and you can make her with any non-link TRAPTRIX monster. 1 Kalaria. She takes 2 plant and or insect monsters, so she's good for link climbing or just stacking up your monsters, and she lets you recycle your trap hole cards by setting them when they're activated instead of sending them to the grave. And during your end phase, you can special summon a TRAPTRIX monster from the grave to maybe get an extra Mermello effect off, since she's not once per turn. 1 Adipus. She's a link 3 that you could use with any 2 monsters, including a plant or insect monster, and in my opinion she does give a lot to the deck. If you have a normal trap in your grave, she gives 1000 attack to all of your TRAPTRIX monsters. So she'll go up to like 2800, and your Pingukula will go up to like 2500, which is cool. And once per turn, you can target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of plant or insect monsters you control. So it doesn't just have to be monsters. It can negate back row 2 or whatever, as long as it's face up, and negate their effects until the end of the turn. and if you have a normal trap in the grave, you could banish it to destroy one of the targeted face-up cards. So this card's pretty good for closing out games. You could use it to climb up to your access code talker and negate and destroy a few cards on the way. And it's really nice like having a Baguska up, making this, and then just negating anything with scary effects before you get rid of the Baguska or you switch it to attack to go for game. Pink Yukila. I run one Pink Yukila. I've seen people run two, but even if I had space, I don't think I would run more than one. She lets you add a TRAPTRIX monster from your deck to your hand, and if one of your opponent's monsters goes to the grave or is banished by card effect, you get attached to this card. So this card's really good. It's your highest attack TRAPTRIX monster. She'll let you search for a combo piece or Arachnocampa or something, which is what most people will probably want to do, especially on the pure variant. If you get hard interrupted, you can make her with a Rikka Princess and a Shade Brigandine or a Holtea. Search for Arachnocampa, make Sarah with her, and then use Arachnocampa to trigger Sarah, and you at least have that if you get interrupted or something. And Rafflesia, she's pretty good, but I don't have space for her in this deck, so currently I just side her. I don't know what to remove for her, but I think you're definitely going to need to run her. Since this deck does get hit hard by Nibiru, and since so many people are running that card right now, I think she is a must include, but I just don't know what to take out. So she offers your TRAPTRIX monsters protection. While she's on the field, they cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect, and they cannot be targeted except for Rafflesia. And when she's on the field, you could copy the effect of any chapel card from your deck by detaching a card and sending that whole card from your deck to the grave. And she is kind of the reason why I run Parallel Exceed, to make her, to protect myself from Nibiru, but I just don't know how to fit her in. But I'll probably include her soon. One access code talker, but it is really nice having that 35k attack monster. He really helps closing out games. Jasmine, she's part of your combo. You'll special summon her to your extra monster zone and use her to tribute preferably Strenna to special summon that generator monster to search for the Lily Berea. And while you're going through your combo, if you already opened your Lily Berea, instead of summoning her, you could summon your Rikka Princess for Deception. Or if you're running Conflasia, you could summon her to tribute her to set 2 traps. Appaloosa, she's part of your end board. Spring into Merrymaker. You'll be using this card to stack under Sargus. She'll let you search out a Therion monster. It's kind of important to run these two in case you break. It just makes it easier for you to search out what you need to get your Regulus on field. Even if you get interrupted, I just have them in here for backup. And also if a material's detached from any monster on the field, you can target a card on the field and destroy it or return it to the hand. So that's a cool extra bonus, I guess. But you do not detach to search for that Therion. Strenna, she's part of your combo. She helps you get follow-up too, since you could detach a material to add a plant from your grave to your hand. So preferably, you would summon out Dionea through Sarah, and then get Dionea to the grave, and use Strenna to get her back to your hand. And when she's tributed, probably through your Jasmine, she lets you special summon a rank 5 or higher plant monster, Xyz monster, from your extra deck. And that will be either your Teardrop Rikka, or if you want to be more competitive, you could sum out the Hyperiton. But I like Teardrop the Rikka Queen. It's great removal, and she synergizes with the Princess. One Baguska, this is a really strong card. If you're going second, this helps. If you're going first, it helps. If you get interrupted or whatever, it's just really good. One Redoer, really helps the deck. Helps out a Dragoon, or whatever you need to out. I usually make him going second as a backup. Probably won't make him going first, because you have better options. And it's really easy to make with the trap, because Holtea and Shade Brigandine, which is great non-targeting, non-destructive removal. Teardrop Rikka, you could quick effect, target and tribute a card on the field. Pretty good. And one Zeus. Your side deck could be whatever. You can change it to whatever meta you're in. Solemn Judgment, you're probably always going to want to side this in. But since you already have Regulus, it's probably not even worth your main deck. If you want to change things up, you could take it out evenly. Add a Called-by or something. And take out the Fenrir to add more hand traps like Ash, which is pretty good right now. This is another build you could go with if you still want the Omnigate, but you don't want to run that heavy Therion package. So you just run this one brick to level 6 plant tuner so that you could summon off Jasmine. These are some other rank 4s you could go into. This is another good trap to include. This also lets you recycle your banished traps and TRAPTRIX monsters. So this is a 2-card combo deck. Like for example, if you just opened up Atriax and 4 other traps that are not Holtea or Shade Brigandine, you're not going to be able to do much. Or if you open Atriax and Holtea, you're only going to be able to get 3 monsters out. So at that point, you could either make a Baguska, which is what I would do because it's more safe, or get your Regulus out if you want that Omni to get, which actually might be more safer to protect your back row. But either way, this is a 2-card combo deck. You could get to your combo many different ways. There's many different extenders. In my opinion, your best hand would probably be Rikka, Mermello, a Shade Brigandine, a Rikka Princess, and a Parallel Exceed. With the Parallel Exceed, you'd immediately go into Rafflesia to protect yourself from Nibiru, and then with the rest of your cards, you would do what I'm about to do right now. So if you open Rikka, you would summon her, Sarah, get your field spell for extra normal summon, special summon a Mermello to trigger your Sarah, and whatever you search from your Mermello, you use it as cost to trigger Holtea, which would probably set off Sarah, and preferably you'd want to use a Trap Hole card as cost for Holtea. So then you'd activate Holtea to special summon herself, to trigger Sarah, special summon Dionea. Dionea will reset the hole that you just used as cost. And here we have 4 monsters on field. So it doesn't really matter how you get here, but to go full combo, you need 4 monsters. If you have extra, that's great. You could use it to have extra material for your Appaloosa, or make your Rafflesia if you have enough. So with these 4 cards, you're going to make your Shrena and your Jasmine. You could only make Jasmine with plant monsters, and Shrena could be made with whatever. And keep an eye on your grave. Don't accidentally trigger Shrena if Sarah is the only plant in your grave. You're going to need a plant in your grave for your Lily Brea. So tribute the Shrena to special summon your generator. After Shrena is tributed, you get your Teardrop. On summon, Mordell switches to Lily Brea. Activate her to get the field spell. Activate it to get Regulus. Tribute the Jasmine, the Brea, and the generator for an Appaloosa. Summon Regulus. And equip the Brea. Set whatever back row you can. And then pass turn. And then in your standby, you're probably going to want to trigger Holtea to special summon your Sarah, because Sarah can be interruption, and she helps get you follow-up. So this would be your end board. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 disruptions. Actually 9, because of Appaloosa. This will vary depending on your hand. You may have more or less traps, or maybe you'll have a Rikka Princess Engrave. But this will be your end board if you don't get disrupted. It does suck that in this combo, you probably won't be able to search out your Arachno Kappa for protection. But that's the board. Obviously most boards are breakable, but this board is very hard to break. If you're interested, I'll be uploading more replays to this channel, so check them out.